All right, from autos to housing we go. Mortgage rates are creeping higher and higher thanks to soaring Treasury yields. We talked about the 10-year earlier, continuing to move to the upside. Fresh data from Freddie Mac revealing that 30-year rates have climbed from 6.5 to 6.665 in the past week. 15-year rates inching closer to 6% over the time frame. Joining us now to break this down, Yahoo Finance reporter Dani Romero. Dani, this is feeling a little scary because people thought those rates were going to start to tick down to 5. Instead, it looks like we're heading up to 7. And I just read earlier today, Mortgage News Daily has them north at 7. Where are we headed?
Yeah, so mortgage rates are bouncing up once again, closer to that 7%. I mean, Freddie Mac, like we said, says that the 30-year fixed mortgage rate is up to 6.65% from 6.5% from the week before. And that's really crushing home buying activity, for the moment. Rates have climbed about half a point in February, really reversing what we saw in November. And so the spike in rates is really just another blow to home buyers who are really facing higher home prices as well as a shortage in affordable homes. And so home buying demand just hit a 28-year low, which is really signaling that affordability is still a top concern for home buyers. And so home prices, like I said, are still high. The median listing price is about $415,000, and that's slightly up from January's figure of $406,000. That's what Realtor.com says. But the monthly mortgage rate is still 45% more than it was a year ago. And so not only are home buyers being impacted, but so are sellers. Sellers are saying, yeah, I'm not going to list my home. I'm sitting on a really nice mortgage rate right now. So why would I go back into the market? Or, another thing is that instead of cutting their prices, if they have listed their home, they're saying, you know what, we're just going to remove the listing. So the housing market recovery is really being stalled right now.
Yeah, no one's going to trade that 3 for something 665. And it's certainly when that appears to be headed towards 7. And first-time home buyers just entirely priced out at the moment. So that's hurting. All right, some new data from the National Association of Realtors also reveals the racial home ownership gap has widened in the past decade. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so the racial home ownership gap is a very real and very significant issue in the U.S. And Black households are still lagging behind from other ethnic groups. About 44% of Black households owned a home at the end of 2021, and that's only up 0.4% from the last decade. And the reason is that 30% of Black households actually spend that 30% on their housing. And so, for example, in Wyoming, the average income for a Black household is about $60,000. That was in 2021. But, Black Americans aren't the only ones facing these headwinds. Hispanics are also facing very similar issues. The rate of homeownership sits between 27 and 67% nationwide. And for Asian Americans, 23 states offer homeownership rate higher than the national rate of 63%. But even white households are facing the same issues too. Homeownership rate ranges between 50 to 80%. And, Delaware, Mississippi, South Carolina, they're really leading the charge there. But I want to point out that to, narrow the gap, experts say that we need to add more housing inventory to the market and make it more affordable for that middle income household. But, another side to this that we're seeing is that state leaders are pushing those incentives. I mean, Governor Hochul has a plan to add 800,000 homes within the last decade. So we are seeing initiatives to narrow that gap.
All right, Dani, thanks so much.